It's a great privilege and an honor to present to you a webinar once again on Muscat University, what it means to students, parents, and the state of Muscat in its entirety. We are extremely honored to have with us a very distinguished panel headed by Dr. Khamis, our Vice-Chancellor, accompanied by Mr. Ayman, Dr. Maher, our Senior Lecturer in Logistics, Dr. Ghanim, Professor of Digital Marketing, Director of the Faculty of Business and Management. We also have Dr. Musawat, who's the Director of the Faculty of Engineering and Technology. We have Dr. Shiraz. She's the Director of Academic Relations at Muscat University. And of course, Osam Abdallah, who's Director of Students Recruitment. So with this distinguished panel, we hope to bring to you a new dimension that is coming through Muscat University, a new paradigm that we want to bring about. And that real difference is going to be a amalgamation of expatriate students and welcoming them into the university, and how we can attract them as an eventuality towards making Muscat University a multicultural, multidimensional university for not just education and providing knowledge, but also for providing a diverse medium for harmonizing cultures, ethnic diversity in Muscat. With this said, I am very privileged that in the new year, starting September, we shall be offering a lot of new programs, new educational and new skill development courses for students to grab and to participate in. With that said, I would like to leave and welcome Dr. Khamis to introduce today's webinar and to introduce Muscat University's new face to the participants of this webinar. I thank you once again to Majlis Khonji for giving us this platform to introduce Muscat University. I also like to thank all the participants and all the people who've logged in to hear us. I hope you enjoy our participation. We will have a 30-minute presentation, and then we may have some time for Q&A. But more importantly, whatever you have questions, please put them on the chat. We shall get back to you. If we don't have an answer today, we will certainly welcome you. I hope that Dr. Khamis will meet your expectations and exceed them with his team. And not just that, we hope that our programs will stimulate an interest amongst parents and students to join the Muscat University. Thank you. Dr. Khamis, up to you.
Thank you, Mr. Pankaj. Good afternoon, everyone. In the beginning, I would like to express my sincere gratitude and appreciation to Majlis Khonji for giving us the opportunity to meet you virtually today. My thanks are extended to Mr. Pankaj Chindi for moderating this session. We are very grateful to all of you to be with us today to talk about Muscat University future directions towards excellence in higher education. As you know, education is the cornerstone of building human resources and is fundamental for the development of any nation. Hence, His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, may Allah protect him, has always stressed the importance of the continuous development of the educational system in order to be responsive to the national needs and scientific advancement. This is reflected in the National 2040 Vision of Education, which highlights the need to develop human resources possessing the necessary work and life skills to be productive in a knowledge-based world, able to adapt to changes, preserve national identity and its inherent values, and contribute to the advancement of human civilizations. In line with the National Education Strategy 2040, Muscat University Board of Directors and Board of Trustees directed Muscat University to develop a strategic plan that is able to translate the national aspirations and lead the university towards the future. The strategy was developed after a thorough preparation, detailed analysis of national and international trends, as well as in-depth consultation with stakeholders. In addition, the National 2040 Strategy for Education, as well as other national plans, were taken into consideration. Thus, this plan is characterized by being comprehensive and its inclusion of all key elements for a successful university. The salient goals of the plan include producing quality graduates able to pursue successful careers and to provide solutions to societal needs, conducting internationally recognized research of impact on the socio-economic development of the country, transforming knowledge into value through a vibrant innovation system, and creating effective partnership with the industry. Today's agenda will include 5 main items. We will start in the beginning with a video of MUA achievements over the past 5 years. Then we'll talk about the alignment of Muscat University's strategic plan with the national priorities, and we'll speak about the new directions and the methodology of the program development and the current and upcoming academic programs. We start the session by a short video on MUA achievements over the past 5 years. Please go ahead.
وأن الاهتمام بقطاع التعليم بمختلف أنواعه ومستوياته وتوفير البيئة الداعمة والمحفزة للبحث العلمي والابتكار سوف يكون في سلم أولوياتنا الوطنية، وسنمده بكافة أسباب التمكين باعتباره الأساس الذي من خلاله سيتمكن أبناؤنا من الإسهام في بناء متطلبات المرحلة المقبلة.
Welcome to Muscat University. Located in the heart of Muscat, Muscat University is a modern international university established in 2016 with a vision to transform individuals and communities through industry-engaged, research-informed teaching and learning that is both rigorous and relevant. We will achieve success by providing a conducive learning environment in an inclusive culture of global citizenship. We will facilitate scholarships that embrace collaboration, community engagement, and promote innovative, entrepreneurial, and ethical approaches in all our activities. To be a beacon of excellence in innovation and entrepreneurship, delivering high-quality teaching, facilitating learning, and conducting rigorous research that is relevant to the social and economic priorities of Oman and the wider region. A full placement year. International and diverse academic and professional staff. A dedicated student journey division. Sophisticated state-of-the-art laboratories.
Now, let me talk about the alignment of Muscat University's strategic plan with the national goals. At first, in terms of teaching and learning, our goal is to transform individuals through an academically engaging, active learning experience that produces work-ready global citizens equipped with critical thinking, professional skills that enable them to pursue successful careers. Let me here emphasize on a number of things that Muscat University is distinguished in. The first thing that we are focusing on what we call interdisciplinary programs and multidisciplinary programs. This is what is happening right now in the best institutions in the world. There is no longer a focus only on one specific program where, for example, a graduate is only graduating in accounting in particular. Rather than that, there is an emphasis on one major in addition to another discipline. So we are doing what we call interdisciplinary, which is cross-disciplinary from outside one department, and also multidisciplinary, where we have more than one academic discipline at the same. at the same time. And we try to provide what we call unique programs, distinguished programs, differentiated programs that focuses not only on the theoretical aspects, but also on the practical aspect. At the end of the day, our job is to provide graduates who are ready to join the market with the right skill set. That is our objective. And we do that across many aspects, and we can talk about that in details later on. This is the first thing that I would like to mention. The second thing also, our programs are at par with the international universities. In fact, some of them we bought from the best institutions in the world that are triple accredited. So what we are bringing to Oman is an international experience. It is, I assure you, it is the same courses that you are going to study in the UK, in Australia, and if you travel to the US, to Canada, or any other countries. So we make sure that they are benchmarked with the best international universities. And also we always continuously update our curriculum, because you know the education is always evolving and there are so many changes, especially with the technology. For example, I'm a finance person. There is a lot of emphasis right now on the fintech, on the blockchain. We make sure that our courses are always reflecting all of those advancements in knowledge. So again, to make sure that our graduates are ready to join the market, they have the right skill set. This is the first thing that I wanted to mention here. The second thing, what distinguished Muscat University is the active learning. You know, when I was a student back then, 20 years back, we were like what we call passive learners, where we are mainly listening. Now there is a big shift. Now it's more about what we call active learning, which is a learner-centered, not teacher-centered. So now we see students as co-creators of knowledge. We see students as a partner, as a co-creators of knowledge. They have to be engaged. We have to make sure that we engage them in terms of, for example, role play, in group discussions, in projects, in the debates, in all of those that enrich the students' experience. So again, when they graduate, they are ready to join the market. So active learning is what is needed, and that's what we are doing in Muscat University. And we are producing graduates not to work only in Oman. This is something that I want to emphasize. We are producing graduates, since our programs are international programs. We are making sure that all the curriculum is an international curriculum, so our graduates can work in any country in the world. We are cultivating a lifelong type of learning which helps preparing the students for a future of work which is constantly evolving. We are, as I said earlier, equipping them with the right skill sets, like critical thinking, innovation, all of those things that is needed in the marketplace. The second issue that is very important is the governance. You know, governance also in our vision, Oman 2040 is critical. Governance is important in Oman and in any country in the world. So we make sure that we develop governance and management to respond efficiently and effectively to future needs, that is through rigorous management techniques. The most important thing here that I want to focus on is that there is no redundancies. We review all the policies, we review all the procedures. If there is any redundancy, we make sure that those redundancies are eliminated. At the same time, we make sure that everybody is aware of their responsibilities. This is your responsibility, this is your target, this is your timeline. So everybody is clear about this. Everything is efficient and effective. Another thing that we are working on, which will distinguish Muscat University, is professional programs. I personally believe that professional programs are critical. They are the future. No longer academic programs are the only thing that you need for a successful career. Professional programs are becoming increasingly important day by day. So what we are doing right now at Muscat University is that we are developing professional programs that meets the needs of the Omani society and preserve the Omani identity and values. We are enriching the curricula with the active learning that I mentioned and student-centered activities. Our plan right now is to make Muscat University a center for professional programs such as ACCA, CBA, CFA, and all other professional programs. And also, we are going to offer courses on those. We are going to offer courses to train students. Not only that, what will distinguish Muscat University is that, for example, the accounting and finance program is an Eastern program, which is triple accredited, and it has 9 course exemptions in the ACCA. And we are going to work with the ACCA to maintain those 9 exemptions, which is really something that is very popular and highly needed in the market. So those professional programs is something that we are working on right now, and inshallah, it will see the light soon. What we are interested, as I said, in Muscat University is preparing students for the jobs, for successful careers. So employability for us is critical, is very important. So we work to enhance employee efficiency, effectiveness, and professional development by providing a stimulating work environment and preparing qualified and professional graduates that are ready. That is the most important thing, that are ready to join the workforce. And here, there's something that I have to mention and really distinguish Muscat University among all the competitors, which is the full year placement. Muscat University is the only institution that has a full year placement. Not only that, also, as I said, we make sure that our courses are rich in terms of the skill set that is needed in the marketplace. But see, always companies are complaining that people are not ready because they don't have the experience. Our graduates, they have the experience because of that one full year placement. So this is really giving us a lead, and a distinction compared to our competitors. Now, research, of course, is critically important for any institution. Always research drives innovation, and innovation drives all of those discoveries that we are witnessing every day. So our job is to conduct internationally recognized research of impact. And here I have to focus on the word of impact. The purpose of research is not only to publish in journals and to get promoted. Really, there is a change, there is a shift right now. The most important thing, it has to be a research of impact. And what we are focusing on here in this university is applied research. Working with the private sector, with BDO and with other big companies to make sure that our research is helping the private sector, solving their problems. I think that is what is needed in Oman. Working also on what we call multidisciplinary research. Rather than just research looking at one angle, no, let's make it comprehensive. Looking at the same issue from different angles and providing a lot of ideas and innovation to make sure that our solutions are comprehensive. And also in this line, we are working towards establishing a research center that we are going to announce, inshallah, soon. That proposal is already ready. Again, another issue that I have to focus on here is to transform knowledge into value. I think innovation and transforming this and commercializing this is very important. And I already had a talk last week, actually, after the session in Arabic, with the industrial center headed by Dr. Abdullah, how we can collaborate with them to make sure that those ideas that we have can be transformed into value. I think that is something the country is focusing on. Not only the country, the entire world is focusing on. Industry engagement, of course, is very important. It's extremely important to have partnership with the private and public sector, not only in Oman, in everywhere, with educational institutions, with the industry, with everybody that can add value. So here we are trying to actively engage with the industry in Oman and beyond to establish what we call effective partnership. I come from Sultan Qaboos University, and believe me, we have signed so many agreements. The problem that we are always facing in SQU and elsewhere is that those partnerships remains to be only papers on the tables. They are not activated. I think what matters at the end of the day is better to have one active partnership rather than having so many that are just, as I said, papers that does not lead to or generate to results. So we are trying here to establish what we call effective partnership with the industry, with the research institutions. We are also focusing on executive education, having a partnership with the industry where we can train people also. That is something that we are working on right now, and hopefully we can do that with the private sector, especially with the big companies. And the programs that we are developing always, now we are establishing in Muscat University an advisory board that has been approved from the board of trustees last time. I think the advisory board is really critical. They play an instrumental role in guiding our programs. Our programs is supposed to come from the market. It's supposed to reflect the market needs, and that's what we are doing. And also we have an idea of establishing what we call the entrepreneurship center. One of the students who graduated from here actually has discussed this idea with us, and we are working on this. And I think this is also very, very critical. This is what the country it needs. In terms of financial sustainability, of course, that is extremely important for any university. So we are working to develop a diversified, viable, and sustainable financial model. We always say in finance, don't put your eggs in one basket. That's what we are trying to do. So we make sure that we partner with the external funding institutions to try to support us, partnering with anybody who can, where we can diversify our resources, bringing it from, whether it is from Oman, whether it is from research institutions in the world, in the GCC, in the Arabic region, in the MENA region, or elsewhere. And we are having this idea of having an endowment fund. I'm discussing this idea. I think this is also something that we have to do going forward in the future. When we talk about human resources, of course, are the most important asset of any organization. So we are trying to attract the qualified, the national cadres with high competencies, by providing what we call cooperative and stimulating work environments, and also rewarding those who are doing well. I think that is also what the Ministry of Labor is trying to do, and that's what we are trying to do here also at Muscat University. Now, the next slide. When we talk about, Ayman, now when we talk about the new directions, what we are trying to do here, as I said, at first, we are trying to expand the program's portfolio to make sure that we respond to the market needs. We see what are the gaps in the market. Based on that, we go and introduce the programs. So we are focusing on academic programs. We are focusing also on professional programs. And as I said, we are focusing on interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary. And what distinguishes us is that we make sure that our programs are equipped with the right skill set, again, that provides graduates who are ready to join the market. Also, another issue that I have to focus on here is the professional programs like ACCA, CPA, and so on. That's what we are working on right now. And now we are going, inshallah, soon, we will get an approval for the first time to offer what we call a doctorate of business administration. I'm hopeful that we'll be the leaders of providing these. This is highly demanded in the market. I actually had this idea when I was even in SQU to have a DBA. And so far, I received so many calls inquiring about this. I think this program will be successful. So it's good to be the first mover in the market. And hopefully, Muscat University will be the first mover. I think what we are focusing here in Muscat University, which is critical, that I have to focus on, is what we call transformation to an entrepreneurial university. That is what is happening right now. Now, education is changing, knowledge is changing, so we have to make sure that we adapt again to the market. The market changes quickly. So now the role of the university is not only to provide education. The role of the university becomes actually of contributing to what we call economic development, to make sure that we provide innovation, creativities to be centers for this. So the entrepreneurial university is a center for what we call a creation of new business ventures. So when a student graduates, he's not a job seeker. We are training him to be a job creator. And that is actually what makes all the difference. So we have to make sure that we are working also with the small and medium enterprises on these to make sure that our graduates are able by themselves to go and open their businesses and recruit people rather than the other way around. I've already talked about partnerships. I think partnership is critically important. I talked also about research. Research is very important. And the most important thing is the impact of research, is helping the private sector, working with them on solving their problems. So there is a benefit from research, direct benefit from research. Also, we are establishing partnership with reputed universities to offer joint programs. I already had a number of meetings, and hopefully, inshallah, we'll be able to bring some of the good names from the UK and from Australia to Oman. I don't want to reveal the names, but there are some good names who are interested to be with us. And hopefully that, inshallah, will be revealed in due time. We are always embedding the creativity and innovation in our models to make sure, again, that our courses are up to the international standards. They are just similar to what is offered in the best institutions. Also, agility is very important. We need to make sure that our institution is agile, is flexible, so it can easily respond to any changes in the market. So that is also what we are trying to work on. And actually, this is a project that I worked on when I was in the Sultan Qaboos University. Of course, we already aligned our programs with the local and international labor market needs. And also, we are working on developing student and staff exchange programs. Exchange programs is very important. It brings a lot of benefits for our students to go abroad and also for international students to be with us here. It's not only about students, even it's about the staff. Now what we are doing in Muscat University is we started with 3 programs. Alhamdulillah, now we end up with 9 programs. So this is really a big increase in the diversified portfolio. And again, it's not about the numbers, it's about the quality. Let me emphasize on this. Any institution can offer so many programs. What we are interested in here in Muscat University is to offer quality programs. These unique programs that fits the market, not only in Oman, even in any country in the world, in India, in other countries also. And actually we are having, we are going to establish a collaboration with India, with an Indian institute, a good Indian institute that is hopefully will open a window for the Indian expatriates here in Oman. For the next year, we are going to move from those 9 programs to 21 programs. So there is a big increase. And again, we are focusing on interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary programs. We are focusing on the quality. Quality is what matters. Quality is what is needed in Oman and in any country. And we always make sure that we preserve the quality. So now I turn the presentation to Ayman to talk about Muscat University methodology of program development. So Ayman, please go ahead.
Before Ayman comes in, Professor, you've given a phenomenal, comprehensive view on where we are and where we intend to be, our new development cycle in terms of collaboration with overseas institutions, and also think. What I'd like is that if you could introduce the panel, we take a little bit of the Q&A, and in between, wherever the main guys are coming in, they can highlight a little area of which each one is kind of doing, rather than, I want this discussion to be as interactive with the people that have, and they have a lot of questions. I leave it to you, but I just thought that, let's kind of get the audience involved a little more and make it a little more question and answer kind of a situation. If you can introduce the panels, and then each one of them can give a 1 or 2 minute introduction in where they come in, and then let's open the floor.
Pankaj, I think you have already introduced all the panel, so I think the best thing is to open the floor for questions and answers.
I mean,
I leave it to you, Dr. Khamis.
Yes, we are happy to welcome any questions if there is any questions about anything that I have mentioned so far. But I thought actually, because my colleagues will go deeper into the explaining the programs and the unique features of the program, so maybe we will be able to answer some of the questions that might be in your heads right now by going over the presentation till the end.
Sure.
So it is up to you. We can answer the questions right now, or we can go deeper.
Let's do a Q&A, and if needed, each of the panelists can come in and say, okay, by the way, this is what you asked, and this is what I present, what I have for you, and let's do it a little bit. Let's mix it up a little bit.
Excellent.
Hybrid it.
Excellent. So please, if there are any questions, it will be my pleasure, and my team also to answer them.
Professor Khamis, there is a question from Engineer Saleh Al-Shamfari. Welcome, Engineer Saleh.
Well, thank you very much, Professor Khamis. Congratulations for taking up the responsibility for the Muscat University. We're quite glad. I'm very glad to also be part of the story of Muscat University early days, 10 years ago, when it was just an idea and a good thinking. And thank you, Abu Abdullah, His Excellency, Khonji, for taking over this with other colleagues to make it a reality. I'm so proud to see you as Omani leading this project, and this is great really to talk about. My question is regarding agreements, MOUs that you mentioned. I want to just show you an example of a working academia business relationship that we had earlier with Mazoon Dairy and with Khamis SKU, where we have utilized all the facilities of SKU to develop the current product that you're currently eating or drinking from Mazoon product. Most of the products were developed in SKU with the staff of SKU, with the student from SKU, with the scientist from SKU. I think one of the major roles of us in business, or maybe of a university like Muscat University, is to do what we call bridging the gap between academia and business, i.e. Bridging the Death Valley, I should say. So this is a great example. I'm very happy to hear you reiterating the importance of bridging the gap. And I think from our side as businesses, we will definitely be working very closely with you. When it comes to innovation and incubation, Dr. Khamis, we have just started a food techno park, which is a food innovation hub, whereby SMEs, scientists, great ideas would come and work together to develop startups and SMEs and convert them from ideation process to commercialization. So we'll love to work closely with you and with your students, and maybe in the future with your researchers and scientists. ومرة أخرى مبروك دكتور خميس, and thank you for having my question. شكرا سويني for allowing me to ask the question. شكرا جزيلا.
Thank you, Engineer Saleh. Thank you very much. Actually, I believe this from my heart about the partnership and about converting theory into practice. This is what I come from, a finance background. Usually they are linked somehow. The theory and practice are interrelated closely compared to the other majors. But I would be pleased actually to talk to you and to your team to start some sort of partnership with you, especially in the because we want to expand also on the technology side. And there are some projects that we are thinking about. So thank you very much for this initiative. And I would be pleased again to talk to you and with your team to see how we can work together to make sure that we are actually connected more into practice. And thank you for establishing Mazoon. I am a big fan of Mazoon. Actually, it's a very good company, and I think it will be very, very successful. So definitely, this is something that is on our radar, and we'll be happy to work with you, Engineer Saleh. Any other question, Ayman? Anybody wants to ask another question?
So we have Miss Jelana Lager. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. First of all, my sincere congratulations for this wonderful initiative. It seems like you're doing an absolutely marvelous job. So my sincere compliments on that. Taking a step further from the DBA program that you're mentioning, would it be possible for you to elaborate a little bit on the nature of that DBA program, and also to say whether there's any plan to introduce a PhD program in the future as well? Thank you.
Yes, the DBA, actually, I will ask Dr. Ahmed to give you the details about the DBA, but there is a plan, of course, to have PhD also, inshallah, in Muscat University. We are looking to be focused. We don't want just to offer PhDs here and there. We need to make sure that those programs that we are offering are sustainable and are of good quality, But the DBA that we are having is, Dr. Ahmed, can you please answer the DBA?
Sure, Professor Khamis, of course. So the DBA is basically aimed at the professionals who are working, who would like to learn more skills to become better managers at their current or future employment. And in terms of the structure, usually DBA differs from a normal PhD. So with a PhD, you just do 4 years of research, where in a DBA, you do the same as an MBA. You study some courses related to your topic, your area, as well as learning more about academic research, which will be the second or 50% of the DBA. In real life, what happens is people are working with organizations and they face problems. We need to ensure that they are equipped with all the necessary skills, academic and research skills, to venture and find solutions. Therefore, we are equipping the students of a DBA to be able to solve these problems. Every DBA student will select a real problem that they're facing within their work environment, and they work towards providing an academic-based solution to their problem. But they will also become experts, whereby at one point in time, they can become consultants in the sectors, or they can become also leading practitioners who have the ability to bridge the gap, as we said at the beginning, between research, like theory, and practice. So the PhD researcher is someone who might be more vented towards an academic career. However, a DBA is a professional who would like to push and rise above the competition to be able to have this extra skill, the research skill, that will differentiate them from other colleagues within the industry. I hope this gives you like a brief intro.
Thank you. Thank you. Another question?
I'm happy.
Please go ahead.
I'm happy to answer the second question, which is related to how can we attract or invite international students. In fact, we do have already interest, and we have international applicants to Muscat University. What students are looking for coming to university, it's an investment, okay? With Muscat University, we have started with very, very strong partners, and the university strategy, we started with offering the dual degree. Our academics are qualified to teach in the UK. They're qualified, actually, international staff, okay? So we built the relationship. We set up all the fundamentals and infrastructure. We are now independent university. So this is the stage where we are now, okay? So the quality is there, and that's why we still have interest, and we still see applications coming to Muscat University. Now, the future, yes, we will have more partnerships. It's more like strategic partnerships in certain areas where we can improve and develop to deliver the expectations. So that's an answer, I think, to the question. There is reference to geotech. Yes, universities have different strategies, but for Muscat University, we are awarding body. So we need to be like, we are strong on what we do exactly. I hope I answered that question.
We have a question from Mr. Ali Taqi. Please go ahead.
Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Khamis, for your great presentation. I was quite thrilled to learn about your interest on research specifically. And I'd like to start from there to make a little argument. That is what attracts a researcher, from my understanding, to, for example, Oman or anywhere else, is not just the ability to do research, but also the ability to implement the research after the results have been there, right? So, for example, tech startups, or let's say making or filing a patent out of the research, are things that a researcher really wants and looks after, and that's why they might choose a certain country, but not another country to go to. So my question is, do you think the framework of patents and the laws about tech startups, for example, do you think these are really suited or appropriate here in Oman, or do you think they could be developed further? And what could Muscat University do about that? For example, in terms of guidance or supporting the researchers or attracting them or talking to the certain authorities or things like that. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ali. Of course, things are always open for improvement, for continuous improvement. So we need to always make sure that we upgrade our rules and regulations in the country. And I think now we are witnessing these newer issuance. So I'm pretty sure that this is in the radar of the government. But when we talk about Muscat University, what we are trying to do by itself is to focus on what we call applied research. Working with the industry, we are planning actually to talk about this. Dr. Nader is planning to talk about this, working with BDO and other companies on solving their problems through research. So we have major projects where we are able to go and help them, provide them with the technical experience that we have here at Muscat University and helping them solving those problems. I think this is what we are trying to focus on, and also multidisciplinary research where we are looking at the research not only from one side, from the financial side, for example, make sure that it's comprehensive. We look at it from different angles. Dr. Nader, can you please also elaborate on this?
Professor Khamis, I'm afraid Dr. Nader is not available. Maybe Ahmed Maher can.
Dr. Ahmed Maher is answering the question. Dr. Ahmed Maher.
Yeah, actually, considering the interest of our university attract not only good quality teaching staff, but at the same time, our staff is very active researcher. And here we are quite interested. Of course, we're interested as academic to produce more papers and that sort of thing. But at the same time, we're interested in applied research. And although we are a quite young university, but we have already established really good connection with some companies. We work with PDO and some other private institution to stimulate some of our research that been secured via governmental grant or private grant. And very recently, we have discussed with a private SME that they have really good connection with 2 or 3 ministries to conduct some more applied research on food security, food safety, food waste management, and that sort of thing, in addition to a quality control over the production processes for those companies that they do production inside the Sultanate of Oman. So we do interest in that, and we welcome, of course, any further collaboration on this.
Thank you, Dr. Maher. May I, Professor Khamis, just bring it over here. I'd like you to kind of share with us. You have a lot of programs for the international expatriate community students and families, and those programs are pretty much based on a dual system of education, and where you actually provide 1 year of internship and work placement in your program. So you basically have every undergraduate program has got a 1 year placement kind of slot. And this is a unique one because there's nobody else in the market who does that. And this really distinguishes your students from the rest of them. One. Number two, you also give your students, your expatriate students, a full residency status, not sponsored by the family, but sponsored by the university. So can somebody just talk about that? Because this is something which is unique, and it gives the expatriate families that sense of comfort and security when you have a university which really adapts the child from a immigration point of view as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Pankaj. Yeah, that's related to the question asked earlier. So why students choose a university, or what's the top list on their list? The university, back to what I said, is an investment. Okay, it's a way to secure a job. So they're looking at, like Muscat University, we are pioneers in that by offering the placement year. So students will study year 1, year 2, academic, and then year 3, they will be placed and monitored by the university in a company. So they practice what they have learned, they implement it, and then it helps them to identify what they want to specialize on their final year of study when they come back. Now, in another way, we say it's a year-long interview. It secures a job for the individual students. If they perform very well in the company, it's almost like they secure their job after graduation. Now, my background working in the UK and implementing this sandwich program, the statistics shows that over 90% of those who take the placement secure job within 6 months after graduation. So this is one of the highest, I'll say one of the highest unique selling points at Muscat University. We are the only university that offer the placement year. In terms of the international, sorry.
If you don't mind, maybe we will allow Dr. Shiraz to elaborate more on the placement feature that we have at Muscat University through the slides that's already present on the screen.
Yes, thank you, Hossein. You said it all. Thank you, Ayman, for allowing me talking about the placement. I am responsible of placing our student, local and international students at MU had equal chances to have a placement. 67 students last year have been placed for more than 7.5 months in different industries, more than 18 industries. Muscat University, as my colleagues said, and as Prof. Khamis said, is the first and only university in Oman and in the GCC country offering a full academic year placement. It is equivalent to 8 modules, 120 credits. Students, after finishing their year 2, they go for placement. We, as Muscat University, are responsible of securing the placement for them. Then they come back for year 4 to graduate. Muscat University, by introducing in its study plan the placement year, is linking academic experience, academic journey to professional experience. We are linking the certificates, the degrees to the professional skills. I think this is Muscat University's signature that we are trying to keep as long as Muscat University is growing its portfolio. So we currently have 7 undergrad programs. The 7 undergrad programs licensed by Ministry of Higher Education, all of them, they incorporate the full academic year placement for its students. Last year, we had 5 expat students. Muscat University worked on all the approvals from the labor law, from the ministry, to get their placements on time. We've been seeking the feedback of industry related to our student journey with the placement. Some of the industries contacted us for possible employment of students. What Muscat University is offering to the industry is with a great benefit also for companies. So what is it there for companies through our placement? They can increase the opportunity of recruiting competencies after training them for a long period, more than 7.5 months, without a compulsory remuneration. The company may fulfill all its commitments toward community service through the placement. They also can meet the KPIs set by the Ministry of Labor Law, the Ministry of Labor annually. Those KPIs are related to training and placement.
Dr. Shiraz, let me add also, Mr. Pankaj, it is about also the quality of the companies where they are trained. Really, we can show them.
Yes, Ayman, can you go for the next slide? Yes, the next slide.
The best and the largest companies in Oman.
Yes.
Some of them are international companies. So they have international experience. When they join Muscat University, they got that 1 full year of practical experience in some of the best institutions. Some of them are international institutions. I think this is really very unique, very unique. Mr. Ayman, can you please talk about the visa and also what distinguishes Muscat University compared to the rest? What are the unique features here, other than what I have mentioned already? Ayman?
Yeah. Professor
Mr.
Khamis,
Hussein,
yes, Professor Khamis, definitely. We also have a student service, student journey division specialized only to provide the best services that we can to help and assist our students during their journey. And one of the services is for international students is to ensure the smooth transition of the visa requirements. So a lot of our students or expat students who join Muscat University, they require a student visa. They're either under the expat family visa, and they have the option of transferring from an expat family visa to a student visa. And we provide that with working with the Royal Oman Police, the immigration. And it's a very smooth transaction, and it happens really quick. It doesn't take long for them to transfer the visa. Also, I'd like to highlight the USPs or the unique selling points of Muscat University. We enjoy a strategic location in the capital of Muscat, Muscat. We also have a modern building with the highest facilities and a high-tech lecture halls with interactive and whiteboards, and also a very highly qualified academics with professional experience. We have very advanced laboratories with state-of-the-art equipment, and we take pride in providing programs that are aligned with the market requirements. I know Muscat University reputation and image supersedes a lot of the offerings that we have. We already established ourselves as a high quality university, a very competitive university on the national level. And we're also competing to achieve rankings and accreditation on the international level. And I believe with the introduction and the development of the new programs, especially the ones that Dr. probably Ahmed Maher and Ahmed Ghunaim can elaborate more on those new programs, but we believe with the introduction of the new programs that are aligned with the labor, Oman labor market requirements, such as the renewable energy and the engineering, energy engineering, and the more new programs that are in the pipeline and will be introduced in the next year. So if you allow me, Professor Khamis, I would like to pass the mic to Ahmed Maher, maybe Ahmed Ghunaim, to give more idea about the new developed program at Muscat University.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, dear Ayman. Just to summarize about the methodology of program development at Muscat University, we are actually limited by three main pillars. First is how important the related field to a sultanate, and at the end of which is aligned actually to the worldwide, considering the globalization and that sort of thing. Second is what are the latest trends and development related field. And this will help us to embed the latest trends and development within the program that we develop. And actually that will equip our graduate with the latest development, and later on it will have a positive impact on their performance. They will look like really those are graduates from this generation, not like someone has been doing chemical engineering 20 years ago or logistics 20 years ago. There will be a big difference. We cannot anymore have graduate that they have the mindset, the technologies, the development that were presented 20 years ago. This is one of the main focus. However, there's no point talking about those unless we have the quality and accreditation. Because with the quality, we make sure that we deliver quality teaching, quality research-based teaching that will have an impact on their performance once they start their position. That's generally. Moving back to our faculty transport and logistics. Yes, Ayman, might have the next slide. Yeah, first of all, we know how important the logistics for the Sultanate of Oman, where they...
Ahmed,
yes.
Mr. Maher, can I please request you to kind of go through the programs that you're introducing as you are doing right now, because I give you 3 minutes to do that, and then I want 5 minutes to just take any last final relevant questions, and then we'll say, why don't we invite most of these people who are attending today to the university, where we will host them over a coffee or a snack and explain to them in person what they want to do. Because I think stretching it any further will make it very monotonous. Thank you.
Yeah, all right, Mr. Pankaj.
You have 2 minutes.
So moving to our program, actually, we are considering that we understand how important this sector to worldwide, where it's been raised of or valued 8 billion 2 years ago. We believe that we should focus on the details of this sector, rather than normally we hear about someone holding BSc Logistics and Supply Chain Management. But no, what we do in our faculty, we go to with, at the moment, Logistics Supply Chain Management. Can we go back to the previous one, Ayman?
Dr. Ahmed, for the sake of time, please, let's just make it very short.
Yeah. So at the moment, we have Logistics and Supply Chain Management. Also, we have Logistics with Transport already approved. For next year, we are working on logistics with purchasing management and logistics with operation. In addition, we're working on a master program, logistics with supply chain management, in addition to a very unique course program, MBA with a major in logistics. And we believe this will cover the need of the country in addition to the growing importance of this field to the worldwide. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Dr. Ahmed Ghunaim, please, in 2 minutes, if you can.
Sure, I'll be very quick, if you may, Ayman. So I'm sure that the Vice-Chancellor has managed to mention a few of these programs. So we currently have 4 approved programs at the Faculty of Business and Management. One is the Bachelor of Science in Accounting and Finance, which is based on a triple accredited program. We have the Bachelor of Science in Business and Management, which will be first in Oman, as well as the BSc in Marketing. And also have introduced the MSc in International Business Management with 2 specializations, General and Marketing. And we're hoping to be able to introduce the Doctor of Business Administration within the next year to be amongst the first. Also, we have a suite of new programs that we are proposing, the BSc in Accounting and Business and the BSc in Entrepreneurship and International Business. And finally, as the VC mentioned, the MSc Professional, which will be in Accounting, and the MBA General and Digital Innovation Management. So I think that's a brief overview, but I'm happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rifta. Thank you.
So for the Faculty of Engineering and Management, we have currently 3 approved programs: the Chemical Engineering, BN, Bachelor of Engineering, Bachelor of Engineering in Energy Engineering, and Masters in Renewable Energy. When we developed those programs, we based our curriculum design on the Ministry of Higher Education Strategy 2040, Oman Vision 2040, employability surveys that the Ministry of Higher Education is uploading online every year. We referred also to the market research prepared by our team, led by Mr. Ayman. Based on the market demand, we proposed those programs, and also we are working on the new programs that will be proposed within a short period. Now we're shifting from engineering to technology in this faculty. We're going for the big data and artificial intelligence for both undergrad and postgrad level. This is also based on the market study that we are doing. This is also based on the ministry and the Oman Vision 2040. We are also planning to offer another Bachelor in Engineering in Environmental Engineering, probably biomedical engineering. So we are still working on updating the market research related to this program. And this was under the guidance of the Vice-Chancellor. The main thing when we talk about the programs, he will always emphasize on the fact of the market demand on what the Ministry of Higher Education is looking for, and the industry is serving at the same time the industry. That's it about the Faculty of Engineering and Management. Mr. Ayman.
I think we have a question from Mr. Mike Hansen. Floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you to Majlis Khonji, Mr. Khalil, Mr. Pankaj, and you, Professor Khamis. I have a specific question with two themes, please. We're listening to the development of new programs. Clearly, this is focused on the need for many more students. So what specific strategies to support the fulfillment of these programs does the university have during this exciting phase under your leadership with your great team to increase student numbers, specifically working with Ministry of Higher Education, with the major employers, with government, and also looking at the definition of students, not just young people coming in, but for example, early retirees, maybe coming from government, maybe coming from companies. What can the university offer to retrain this talent, to enable them to come back into the workforce as valuable people? Much of our best talent in Oman is currently in government or the military. We've got lots of great young talent coming through. Now is the time to leverage Ministry of Higher Education, employers, government. Professor Khamis, what are the specific strategies, please, to treble, to quadruple student numbers, not just from overseas, but homegrown from here in Oman, please?
See, our strategy is very simple. As I said, we are offering programs that is needed in the market. So through those diversified programs, we'll be able to attract students. And not only that, we are looking at the postgraduate level. For example, we usually offer one program per year. Now we are going to open it for every semester. So everything that we are doing based on the market needs and actually based also on the practices with other institutions. We learn every day something new. And based on that, we try to adjust our strategies to make sure that we can attract as many students as possible. Having the programs, having the professional degrees, having the, as I said, the flexibility in the teaching mode itself, whether it is at the evening or at the weekend, or opening the programs not only every year, every semester, I think is a methodology that has all the ingredients to succeed. Mr. Mike.
Professor Khamis, forgive me for coming in again, but how do we make the person accountable in the Ministry of Higher Education who's about to sign off on another young Omani to go overseas for their higher education, maybe to the UK, maybe to Australia, how do we make them accountable to say, what about the great courses offered by Muscat University, and stay here with Omani identity, Omani values, close to their mum and dads? How do we do that?
Well, every institution has its own policies, and the ministry has its own policies. I think what we can do is offer similar programs, and we go to the ministry, we tell them rather than spending more money in the UK or in any other country, you can spend less money, more cost effective to have the program here in Oman. So having these international programs, I think is very important. And really, to me, quality is very important. We need to make sure that our programs are not preparing only Omanis to work in Oman or preparing the expatriates to work in Oman, but it's the same program as if they travel and study in the US or in any other country. That is something that we don't jeopardize here in Muscat University.
I think, Mike,
can I
you've got
say something to?
Yeah,
Can I
yeah,
say something,
Shiraz.
please?
Yeah,
Excuse
go
me.
ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I
Dr.
have.
Shiraz.
Okay, I have 2 points. So we worked on the starting point for undergrad programs, undergrad students coming from the ministry is the foundation. So we worked on the foundation to have one of the unique foundation in Oman. We have an international foundation. Any student coming out of our foundation can go to any international university without going again through the foundation. It is recognized with some universities in UK. So we worked on having foundation in our foundation to attract more students and to try to convince the ministry instead of sending students overseas, they can come to Muscat University. The second point is, as Prof. Khamis said, diversifying the portfolio by having programs with pathways, by having programs with specialization, by having program with more than exit award. We have program, we used to have previously program with a bachelor degree. Now we have the same program with an exit award called diploma, with advanced diploma exit award, and with a bachelor degree. So we are multiplying the entry points as well as the exit points. This is, we are working on, okay. I just want to.
Dr. Shiraz, I'm sorry to break into you. I think the question that Mike asked is very simple. How do we convince the government from making sure that they give more scholarships to Omani universities, specifically Oman, Muscat University, and not send them abroad? And I think we will have to do a lot of canvassing in that. Mike, you and me together, along with Professor Khamis, sit at the doorsteps of the university, of the ministry, and convince them that we are just as good, if not better, than anyone else over there. So I think that's the answer that I can give at the moment, and I think Professor Khamis has the same mindset as we speak. But having said that, please, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being our guest today. We would be honored and privileged if you could come in and visit us at the university. We have a beautiful campus, as everyone mentioned today. I think we're very proud of the institution that we've built. Please come, please talk to your fellow expatriate friends and colleagues to introduce their children and for both basic learning and also postgraduate studies. We'd be happy to kind of to accept them and make sure that we have things. So Ayman, if you have 2 more questions, we have a paucity of time. We've overshot our time, but go ahead. Let's do it.
Not my questions. I just would like to elaborate quickly on and answer maybe Mike directly. We should not be only focused on the government, and definitely the market is full of potential opportunities, especially if we really apply our strategies here at Muscat University. We definitely have adopted a very strategic approach to penetrate the market, reach these pockets, and especially with the renewable energy and the energy engineering, we know these are very vital and vibrant fields that we can approach the key players in those areas and try to strike, even contracts with them and provide these services, because they are looking. They have approached us once we announced the renewable energy. We got approached by these companies, especially with the huge project that's in the pipeline. So yes, we will touch base with the government and also with the private market as well. The 2 questions that are in with the 2 people that raised their hand. Yelana again, and Dr. and Simon Karam would like to ask some questions if we can allow them.
Go ahead. Should we give the lady the first chance, Simon, if you don't mind?
Yeah, please.
Thank you so much.
By principle.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I just have a basic question. So from what I understand, your courses are in English. That's the core of your approach to higher education. Now, if we're talking about keeping the Omani identity and keeping the Omani culture on the one hand, and also the fact that Arabic is in fact the language, the principal language of this country. Of course, the labor market does have a tendency to lean towards Arabic, lean towards English as a language of business. But with the underlying principle that everything is being taught in English and not English for a special purpose, for example, are you going to be catering towards shifting the market towards a very Anglophone, Anglo-Saxon, English-speaking environment? I mean, if you're trying to produce people that are ready to go into the labor market by teaching them, by emphasizing this linguistic, let's say, preference, is that the intention, or will you still be using Arabic within your programs?
Well, I came from Sultan Qaboos University and I was the Dean of the College of Economics, and all our programs actually at Sultan Qaboos University in the College of Business are in English, but there are some courses that are essential that we teach in Arabic. This is the practice that we usually do. The main themes, the main courses will be in English, but some specific courses that talks about Oman and about the history of Oman, the heritage of Oman are in Arabic. So this is usually how we address it here and also elsewhere in Oman.
Thank you. Next, Simon.
Thank you, Pankaj. I'm going to look at the thing in a little bit different way. You know, we have been since the beginning linked a little bit to Oxford University. They are 450 years old, we are 5 years old. We cannot pretend that we want to be like them in 5 years, but we can be inspired by them. A deputy vice-chancellor came and paid a visit to Muscat University. She said a simple statement, she made a simple statement to define her university, which is one of the best in the world. She said, at Oxford, we recruit the best academics, we recruit the best students, and we create for them the environment to work together. Now, let's take these three sentences and work at them. We recruit best academics. Yes, we have best academics, of course, but we have to be careful and create a development program that these academics become an authority in the country by publishing papers, by participating to seminars, by, living and teaching the thing, highlighting their skills. The next is best student, and this is where I, want to emphasize upon. How do we make sure that we get the best students? If not all of them, at least some of them. How can we recruit the first top students, achievers in Oman? Maybe by giving them scholarship, I don't know. And not only the Omanis, how can I attract the 5 best Indian students to our university? Because these guys would set the bar. They would set the bar. They will raise the whole level to become the university we want to become. And finally, on the environment, we have a magnificent board of directors, a very strong board of trustees. The environment at the present in the premises and in the working space is good, but are we going to have a campus sometime? Not next year. And this, the public must know that eventually we're working on these 3 pillars to become the best university in Oman. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheikh Samhan. Thank you very much for raising those 3 issues. I personally believe in them. I believe attracting good faculty are the backbone. Actually, human resources, as I said, are the backbone of any institution, and they need professional developments. And we have set some sort of budget actually on that aspect in our new annual budget. In terms of attracting best students, usually what attracts students are the programs themselves. If you have, for example, a unique program like the one that we are having for the first time in Oman on renewable energy, definitely we'll be able to attract new students. If we are talking about the undergraduate, again, we are trying to have some sort of niche. We are trying to have some sort of negotiated programs that does not exist in Oman, so we offer it here. So the students will have to come to us because we are the only providers. Also,
but how to attract the best students? Not the best.
Yes, the best students definitely will require scholarships. If we want to provide, actually, here is a case of an Indian student who wants to come, and maybe Hussam knows this very well, and we're presenting them. They require some sort of probably attraction. Usually they are provided scholarships. Actually, when I was a student, I got a scholarship from University of Melbourne. They told me, come, do your PhD, we will pay you a salary, don't pay us a penny. So this is usually what universities are doing. Scholarships are the way forward for attracting best students. So that is that. And I mean, we are aware of all of those issues. In terms of the campus, we are actually working on the detailed drawings, and hopefully within 2 or 3 years, we'll be able to move to a nice campus in a strategic location here in Muscat, in Al Arfan. So this is also something that we are working on.
Vice-Chancellor, can I possibly add one point, if I may? With this regard, I think it's how you can showcase the quality of the product of our graduates. We have to focus on how we can add value to the existing students. And luckily, we have excellent students who are graduating who have performed or outperformed their UK peers. So it's about the working or the environment within which they study, plus showcasing them that this is what they can achieve. This is the value that will be added throughout their journey within Muscat University. I'm sure Hussam has lots of ideas. We have worked on different ideas to actually bring those A students, we call them the A students before in the UK. Definitely, and we had like we also bring the 40 best students who have the A-level projections, and we bring them onto the campus for 2.5 days. They actually live on campus. They experience the teaching and learning and all the life on campus, A to Z. And this usually gets us to transform 50 to 60% of those into actual students once they finish their high school. So there's so many initiatives, but I think it's about showcasing the quality of the current programs, plus the environment, and hopefully excellent output graduates that can support all of this marketing campaign.
Yeah. Let's make it complete, and the best academics. We have to showcase them. We have to showcase
I'm biased if I say that. I'm biased if I say that. I'll leave it to the marketing team.
With that said, you know, quality is what we will strive for. Professor Khamis, on behalf of the university, the board of trustees, the board of directors, the faculty, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for attending this webinar on Muscat University. We are very much counting on your support, your patronage in making Muscat University a top institution, not just in Oman, but in the region. The fruits of the success will be in a few years' time when we see the quality of our students being employed in the highest positions in the best institutions of Oman and global international institutions as well. So, Simon, hopefully we will see some top-notch students of MU at the highest senior management positions in institutions or being entrepreneurs in their own right. So please come and visit the university. Please come and meet our faculty. Please come and talk to Professor Khamis. And we look forward to seeing you at the university soon. Thank you very much. Thank you very much again, Chairman and Your Excellency Khalil, for hosting us. And we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you. And good evening.
Thank you, Pankaj. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We welcome you at Muscat University. We are ready to answer any of your questions. If you have any questions, please come to us. We welcome you, and our doors are always open to all of you. Many thanks to Mr. Pankaj, to Majlis Khonji, to all of you who attended this session, and we are looking forward for other sessions, inshallah, in the future. I wish all of you a good evening. All of you. Goodbye.
Thank you very much.